So today back here at our analysis series, we'll be doing the Sen. Oh, this is the last one already for the year, right?
The last project launch of the year, 2025.
Okay, so today, hello everyone, I'm Carissa.
I'm Elaine.
Yes. So today we will be bringing you the Sen. Okay, so I think this time round we will do something different because this one is a mid-rise development. I think mid-rise development, we need to understand a little bit more on actually how the developer price the units, the pricing strategy, etc. as compared to like high-rise that we have shared previously, right?
So actually in all our analysis video, we try to determine how to developers price their units, because we want the buyers to be very prepared before they even go on a booking day to actually choose their unit. You already have the numbers in your mind. So that will definitely be able to help you to make a more informed decision.
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
So today we're going to talk about the Sen. Okay, so the video content for today, not forgetting our project information, which we're going to share with you later. And just now what Carissa has mentioned, the pricing strategy for low to mid-rise.
Yep.
Why is it low? So the Sen is actually a 10-story development. It's considered as a mid-rise development. But we're going to bring in one of the case study, which is actually Faber Residences, just launched. For that, it's actually a low-rise development. So we're going to do some comparison between these two to determine what is the kind of pricing that we should be looking at for the Sen.
Yes,
okay. Then of course the pros and cons of the strategy, which we're going to share later. And then last but not least, of course, the layout analysis.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So before that, let's take a look at where exactly is the Sen.
Okay. It's located in Upper Bukit Timah itself. Yeah. And then
This is the actual location over here.
Correct. And then we have later we will touch a bit more on like the nearby and what they have, etc.
The
right?
views and everything.
Yeah. Okay, so location map. Then we move on to the next one, which is so basically in this slide itself, right? It actually shows the distance between from the plot of the Sen towards the neighbors. Yeah. So from here we can see like 190 meters away from Park Natura.
Good distance.
Yeah, and then 400 meters from Ridgeville Gardens.
Yeah,
okay,
the older
so
developments,
yes, and then of course we have and also I think most importantly, what a lot of buyers are looking at the Sen is mostly of the view. Those buyers that or people who like actually greeneries.
Because over here, this part, right, the blocks over here, later we are going to show you that the units facing
views,
here, which is actually the opposite, which is actually the
Bukit Batok Nature Reserve. Yeah.
Okay. This is the one.
Yes.
So if you look at the top part, right, this is actually what you will be looking at if, let's say, you are actually facing towards the unblocked nature park view, which is a lot of greenery. So it really is like coming back home after a busy day. Some buyers really like this kind of environment for their own stay. It's a very quiet and serene environment.
Exactly. So actually, if you look at the top left corner of like all our flats, right, like block 222, block 226, 224, most of the blocks, right, are actually facing the greeneries. So of course, we have 230 that's facing the back. Another plot, yes, correct. So, but still, you have like a corner view of greeneries as well. So basically, this whole development, I would say, is more of the views. And also, I think most importantly, we want to understand where Sen is standing currently and versus what's upcoming in the future, which we will share later in the video.
This is important. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so talking about the connectivity over there, so for the Sen, the nearest MRT station, we're actually in the middle of the two MRT stations, which is actually the downtown line between Hume MRT and Beauty World MRT station. I think it's just a few bus stops to the nearest MRT station at Beauty World.
So that means basically like 5 stops to 7 MRT station, Newton, or even Newton. Yeah.
Actually, downtown line is a very fast line. Yeah, to really go downtown. As the name mentions, it's really downtown. So it's really a very efficient line for this going from Beauty World MRT station. Okay, so that's the connectivity.
So just in case, not only about the MRT, we also want to touch on the connectivity of like to expressway, etc. Because I used to live in a place whereby when you want to get to CTE, you need to take about 15 minutes drive.
So this is like, yes, correct. Right?
So this is about 5 minutes to PIE. So that means you get off your development, 5 minutes you get into the expressway already, which I think is quite essential for a lot of buyers as well.
It's a bonus really, because for my current place, I also need to travel quite a bit of time before I can hit the expressway. So really, a very short drive to the expressway is something which is very time saving, especially the morning peak hours.
Correct.
Okay, so that's the connectivity. Okay, next, in terms of education, for the Sen itself, right, there's actually a childcare center within the development already.
Okay.
So for young families, I think this is something which is going to be very useful for you. The convenience is there.
Yes.
Okay, and then after that, if we are talking about primary school, Bukit Timah Primary School is within 1 kilometer. Pei Hwa will be within 1 to 2 kilometers.
Yes.
Okay, then of course surrounding, because Upper Bukit Timah, if you hit the road down, right, you'll be looking at towards Clementi side, where you have your tertiary, all your tertiary schools, and also your NUS. So in
Singapore
terms
Poly, Ngee Poly, etc. It's all like within 10 minutes drive.
Right. Yes.
This impression.
This impression.
Yeah. So okay. So basically, it's a 10-story buildings, right, for 5 blocks. They do have very nice drop-off area, I would say.
Over here, the
yes,
drop-off area.
correct. So access from B1 and level 1 only, not to level 2. But they have this very interesting concept spa, right? The hot and cold bath, which is we seldom see this sort of hot and cold bath.
Oh yeah, I saw that also.
Like in developments.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite interesting. Up to 42, like sauna and
Good to have.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
developers always have to come up with a lot of new stuff, right?
Yes.
Really to let the residents have a better facilities to use.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
in terms of the project information, so just now what we mentioned is actually 5 blocks of 10-story. We consider this as a mid-rise development with a childcare center. All right, and these are actually the address. We are actually in District 21, which is actually within the RCR, the rest of the core central region. Okay, total units is 347 units. Over here is not stated, but the developer is actually Sustain Land. And then the recent developments, some of the developments that they have done.
Yeah,
is
Sky
actually,
Everton, right? Sky Everton, Coastline, 3 Cascaden, and 1 Mayor.
Yeah. Okay. So these are
So
actually some
they
of
are
their
actually
portfolio.
yes. So basically they build a little bit more high-end products because 3 Cascaden, or even if we say Coastline is also considered one of the high-end products in District 15 itself. Yes. And I just realized the car park is 1-to-1.
Yes, correct.
Oh, so it's 100% car park lots.
100% provision, which is rare to come by in today's new homes context because of how government wants to encourage car life. Yeah, so a lot of developments are actually they can only give up to 80% provision.
Yes.
So this one is actually 347, 1:1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and then of course not forgetting the childcare, which is at block 222, and the expected TOP date.
Expected TOP is August 2029. Vacant possession is 2030. So now we are already approaching 2026. So I think about 3 years of time construction.
Yep.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
Okay. So that's for the project info. Next, we come to the site plan. All right. So just now we have mentioned the views, which is actually the top part of here. Right?
Yep.
Over here
Correct.
will be more of all the nature park,
Yes.
which is
Bukit
really the
Batok.
unblocked view.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Then of course, we also want to identify what are the different kinds of facing in this development. So of course, I will feel that the most premium ones will be the one that is actually facing towards the unblocked nature park.
Yes.
That is the most premium view. Next, we will feel that it's actually more of the internal facing, which is actually a pool facing. Then the last one, which will be more of the exterior facing. So opposite here,
There is another
there
plot,
is actually
right?
another plot of residential land.
Correct.
So this should be the number 1, and then after that, the internal facing number 2, and then the exterior is number 3. Yeah. Also, again, we need to identify this because we will then be able to know what kind of estimate pricing we are looking at.
Yeah.
In terms of the different facing.
And how actually the developer price in terms of whether is it premium or a loading on the then maybe from there on day 1 you will be able to understand and identify whether is it going for a premium facing more worthwhile or not.
Correct.
Okay, so later we will share.
Yeah. Okay, so this is actually just from the drone view that they have provided.
Yep.
Yeah, really nice views.
Yes, exactly.
Unblocked.
I just went to Bukit Timah Nature Reserve the other day, so I saw this.
You went hiking?
Yeah, I went hiking.
Really?
So I saw this. Yeah, I saw this. And it's my first time because I've been selling houses in the West, right? But I haven't been there. So when I saw this, I was excited because every time you go viewing, like you will see this, then you identify based on this tree.
Yeah.
This is a Singtel tower or something.
Like an icon over there.
Yes,
yeah,
correct. So when I saw it, I was
like,
like, oh wow, okay, so actually it's here. Okay. Anyway, just sidetrack.
okay,
Fun
so this
fact.
is actually the views of some of the units that can be facing towards, okay?
Yep.
Okay, so this is actually the site plan and elevation chart. Just something to take note is that, right, because the first floor, the ground floor and the highest floor, if I remember correctly, it actually comes with a higher ceiling height.
Correct, 3.9 I think,
3.9
if I'm not
ceiling
wrong.
height.
Yes.
Correct. And because this is also a harmonized development, so actually the ceiling height is not included in the strata area also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So actually,
So it's a
for
bonus
buyers,
lah.
yes, correct.
Okay, so that's for the first floor, the ground floor, and the highest floor. Unit
Okay.
mix.
So from the unit mix, we can see one bedroom, we have about 10 units.
Just 10 units.
Yeah, just 10 units. Okay, then of course if you look down, further down, it will be 2 bedroom and 2 plus study in the yellow zone.
Right here.
Yes, correct. So I think the developer actually set quite a bit of a foothold on the 2
Two and
bedroom.
two plus.
The 3 bedrooms, they also have a fair and nice distribution in terms of sizing. They start from very small one, 872, 936.
Very
Decent,
sizable
decent
quantum.
size and for buyers to digest. Yeah, so like small families like me, if I'm looking at a decent 3 bedroom, maybe I can consider something like this,
Which is a compact
872,
three lah.
which later we will show you the
Layout.
which is very functional because there's no wasted space. Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
So then after that, we have the 3 premium, which is a bigger size, 1259 square feet. And then lastly, which is actually the 4 bedroom premium. But this one will be probably on higher quantum because of size, 1453 square feet.
Yep.
Okay, so that's for the unit mix.
Okay. So we want to also touch a little bit on the Bukit Timah planning and also the future land plots, like what we mentioned earlier. So we in the Sen, besides Sen itself, right, we already have two plots. So one is just actually it's just almost side by side. Like this is side by side, and then of course this is on the right side of Sen. Then we also have upcoming residential with first floor of commercial, and then what is upcoming is also Turf City, Dannon Road, and then Holland. I think there's one at Holland as well.
Correct.
So I think for here, right, we can then understand with these future plots coming, and where does Sen currently stand in terms of land price, the future land cost, whether is Sen something that worth considering. Yeah, so I think in our next slide we will be sharing.
Okay, let's go on to the next
let's
slide.
move on to the next, which is so now we look at this, right? In the inventory list, right, what we have is the Sen currently at 841 PSFPBR in the RCR region. But if we look further, Dairy Farm, Lakeside, or even Thompson View, all these are all OCRs. Yes, and OCRs having the much higher price.
Per square foot price, PPR for their land
Exactly.
bought.
So it's already crossing the 1,000 mark for a OCR plots.
Correct.
So if let's say you're looking for something that has a more reasonable or lower quantum project, then maybe Sen is something that you
I
might
guess
want
this
to
is
consider.
probably the last kind of plot that we are looking at. Land price below 1,000 per square foot.
Exactly.
Per plot. Look at the timeline, right? Like for example, the one in Dairy Farm is actually going to launch like very soon. We are now approaching the end of 2025.
Exactly.
So this is going to come like Q2 of next year, and then after that, subsequently will be all the rest of the new homes already. So yeah, correct. Because in terms of the per square foot price bought for the Sen for developer, right, is actually a very good and attractive land price. Looking at the fact that upcoming launches, upcoming new homes, in terms of the land price is already so much higher than the current one.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving into 2026, we want to understand, what is in it for us?
Yeah.
So what is available for us also? And then, of course, knowing this, you can then better understand that, with let's not talk about only the Sen, with the existing launches,
The current ones,
Yes, the
yeah.
current ones. Are there still opportunities in the
Correct.
market? Yep.
Okay, so that's actually for the land price. Okay, so this is actually our contact. If you have liked what we have shared so far for this video or past videos, please do give us a like and subscribe to our channel. And if you have anything pertaining to any properties related matters, right, do feel free to get in touch with us.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
Right. Next, moving on, this is where we're going to start the main theme of the topic today.
Yep.
So far, what we have shared is all the project information.
Yep.
Of course, if you need to have more detailed ones, you can always come to us and let us know. We'll send you the information. But what is more important is, again, understanding the pricing strategy for the developers.
Yes.
Again, very much we always want to say in our video is that we want to be able to let you know what is important when you even do a booking, when you even commit to a unit. So all these are homework and numbers that you need to understand and to know, to determine what is going to be the best price or the best kind of in terms of facing or units that you should be looking at. Okay, so today we're going to talk about we're going to use Daintree Residence and Foret at Bukit Timah, these two developments as a case study, and later we're going to relate to how this thing is going to apply to the Sen.
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing, why do we actually use Daintree and Foret is because Daintree is actually a 5-story development and Foret is actually a 5 to 9 story. So there are some blocks of a 5-story for Foret, and then there's actually some blocks which is actually 9-story. So we consider that as a mid-rise development as well. Okay, so Daintree having 5-story and Foret 10-story, 9-story. We're going to use this and then we're going to relate this to, again, Faber Residence as what we had mentioned earlier on, because Faber has just launched.
Yes.
So Faber we have already know Faber lowest price to the highest price and also the average pricing and how this thing can help us to, link this up with the Sen.
Yeah, because Faber is 5 stories again.
Yes, correct.
And then Sen is 10 stories.
Yes.
So I think this is a very good comparison. Yes, there's a correlation. In terms of location-wise, they are also in the west.
Yes.
And of course, we talk about Daintree and Foret. It's a very close comparison because they are in the same region. Yeah. So, but I think because having the Faber and the Sen as a comparison, so at least we know that what kind of pricing strategy the developer might possibly adopt.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. So, okay, we look at Daintree Residence first, okay? It's actually 5-story high. So this is actually, this price gap, right? We want to understand the lowest price per square foot and the highest price per square foot on the launch day for a 2-bedder type. So we actually shortlisted a 2-bedder so that we can actually do a more fair comparison. So just purely based on 2-bedder. All right, the lowest per square foot sold for new sale is actually 1,566 per square foot, and the highest per square foot sold is actually 1,840 per square foot. That will be able to let us derive a price gap of 17.5% for a 2-bedder unit type at Daintree Residence. All right, bear in mind, this is actually 5-story high. Then for Foret at Bukit Timah, we actually derive this from the 9-story building as well. So the lowest per square foot sold for new sale is actually 1,958 per square foot, and the highest per square foot sold is 2,251 per square foot. And then we derive a 15% price gap. So you can see that actually based on this Daintree, whether is it a 5-story or whether is it Foret a 9-story high, the price gap from the lowest to the highest per square foot is actually very similar.
Yep.
Within that 15 to 17% price gap. Okay? So next, then we want to look at, now we want to bring in Faber and Sen. Okay. Why do we want to bring in these two? Like what Carissa has mentioned just now, they are also belonging to the more of the western region. So it's also a fair comparison because we are in a similar region. That's the first thing. Second thing is that for Sen and Faber, they actually have very similar land price purchase.
Oh yes.
Okay, so we look at the Sen first, all right? So the Sen is actually land bought or sold at 841 per square foot per plot ratio.
Yes.
Okay,
If I'm not wrong, Faber is 900 plus, right? Or 900.
Right. Yeah. So today we already have gotten the Sen lowest indicative price, which is 2,199 per square foot. Let's make it a 2002. All right. So remember, Sen 841 per square foot PPR for the land. Next, for Faber, is actually $900 per square foot per plot ratio bought for the land itself.
Yep.
Okay. Then for Faber, right, even now that the launch is over, but even before that, right, the developer has already given us the indicative price from the lowest to the highest. Okay, so this is actually derived from a 2-bedroom unit type as well.
Yep.
So the indicative was from 1,997 all the way to the highest at 2,322 per square foot.
And that is a 16%.
Yes. So it equates to a 16% price gap as well. So this is actually a very good example and a correlation that we can see that for the low to mid-rise development, the kind of fair gap that we should be looking at for a low to mid-rise development. So for that, actually for Faber, right, is 16%. which is very similar to just now what we have mentioned for the Daintree and for Red, is also the average about 16% price gap.
Okay, so why are we sharing this is because if you look at our previous videos, we have shared like Zion Grand, which is like 62 stories high. The price gap we will go for, it will be per floor jump.
Yes.
Yes, but for us, for low to mid-rise development, we will not be able to do this because the pricing strategy that the developer will adopt will be different from high-rise.
Very different.
Yes, very different in fact. So I think where we are coming from today, right, if you look at the Sen, I think what we want to reach in our next few slides, we will be sharing how you want to determine whether is it a premier facing better buy versus internal facing, or how should we look at in terms of adopting this developer's pricing strategy.
Okay, so this is how I put these two developments side by side together so that we can have a clearer indication. So just now, as you mentioned, for Faber, right, being a 5-story high, very similar to what Daintree and for Red price gap, which is actually a 16% price gap.
Yes.
If I were to put Sen side by side next to it, okay, it's just now exactly like how I put my Daintree and for Red, right?
Correct.
So the Sen being at 10-story high development, the lowest per square foot, 2199 per square foot.
Exactly.
All right. So from here, a price gap of 16%. We will be able to determine what could potentially be the highest per square foot for the Sen.
Yep.
Okay, so this is actually question mark, but we actually did the calculation. So now looking at this one, now we all know that the lowest per square foot is actually 2002, so that's the base
correct.
of it. All right. So if let's say developer wants to achieve a 2002 to the highest of 2007, for example, and with an average pricing of 2450 per square foot,
There'll be a 22%.
Yes.
Okay, so more likely or not, it won't be in this category.
likely
in
not.
a way.
Yeah, the gap may be a little bit too wide.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if they were to price at 2007, then I think the premium facing will not move.
Yeah,
will
correct.
not be able to attract buyers in a way. Yeah.
Right. So then after that, if we were to look at, if assuming that it's actually within the 2002 to 2006, I'll be looking at a percentage of 18%, which is still okay. But if I want to really adopt what Daintree, for Red, and even Faber has already proven in terms of the price gap, right? We should be probably more or less looking at this range, which is 2002 to 2550. That means to say the average pricing the developer will achieve is at 2375 per square foot, because this is based on a 16% price gap. So within the whole development, like what Carissa has mentioned, from the lowest per square foot price, it could be maybe a not so ideal facing, and then having a 2002 per square foot pricing, and all the way to a better premium facing, or maybe even a higher floor at 2550 per square foot being the highest price.
Yes.
So just bear in mind, it is not about the lowest floor to the highest floor, but instead it's more of the facing, the premium units being less premium, having a better attractive per square foot, to a more premium, having a higher per square foot price.
Okay.
Within the one whole development.
Correct. So because if we were to do the math, 2002 to 2550, if we really want to do per floor jump, it's going to scare everyone. I think like what you mentioned is within the development. So if let's say I'm looking for premium facing, then I will take the premium facing's highest floor versus the highest floor of the not so good,
Not so
premium, ideal,
yeah, facing.
premium, the facing. So then we can have a price gap as well.
Yes,
In order
correct.
for you to determine whether, should I go for premium facing or non-premium facing?
correct.
Which one makes more sense? Yeah. So the price gap in terms of this is slightly different. If it differs from like Zion Grand and the high-rise developments like this. So this one has to be really very careful in terms of when you go for the balloting and things like that.
Okay, so if it's within the 2002 to 2005, we'll be achieving a 13% price gap. Not that it's not possible, there could also be a possibility, but maybe more likely on a 16%. Yeah, so around that 15 to 16% price gap. So this should possibly be the highest per square foot price that we will be looking at within a 2550 to a 2005 to 2550. Okay. All right, so again, understanding this, why the need to analyze and understand this gap? Because we want to determine the buying strategy, just on what you have mentioned. If it's high rise, then it it makes sense to say that, okay, I'm going to buy from bottom up because that's where the lowest price starts from.
Yep.
If it's a high-rise development. So that's for high-rise. So today, we are talking about low to mid-rise. So that's why we need to understand, actually for this one, right, if you have been to some of the recent launches, place in your check to go for the balloting, but somehow the balloting luck is just not there, right? Yeah, so you may end up getting, or you will have to look at the higher floors and higher price per square foot units. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that, just that you may feel a bit disappointed. But in a development like this, knowing the lowest price, the highest price, and the average price, you already know that even today, my queue number is at the back. I'm okay to get the highest per square foot pricing because it comes with a view.
Yes.
Yeah. So because of the premium facing, and then I'm already prepared to go in at this kind of price. And also knowing that the price gap, right, is actually very narrow. Because like what we have shared, is just based on the 16%.
Correct.
I know that today, if I were to enter in a premium facing, I'm paying just a 16% more than my surrounding neighbors.
Yep.
Yeah. And especially if I'm getting something for my own stay, actually some of the clients really do not mind paying a bit of premium for that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that will actually, knowing the lowest price, knowing the lowest, average and highest will be able to help us understand which is the correct unit to buy. Okay, so this is actually the main content of this, the reason why we want to analyze this strategy, looking at Daintree, looking at Forex, and how we apply this tool into Faber and Sen.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Then of course, now we know that, okay, potentially this actually that 15 to 16% or even probably 70% narrow price gap. We will say that we will determine that this is actually quite a narrow price gap. Because if let's say they want to have a wider price gap, it means to say that their 2002 could go up to just now what we saw, probably 2007 or 2008.
Correct.
Right?
That will bring us to the 16%. Ma. Yeah, so if they start from 22, then 16%, that means the highest they can only reach a certain stage.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So having a narrow price gap, right, it encourages, as just now what we have shared, it will encourage buyers to take up more premium unit because you already know how much you need to pay in terms of the extra premium. You already know that. Okay, so but the cons is that on the other side that it could be also means to say that it is a bit lacking of very super attractive price. Yeah, but on the other hand, it's also difficult. So the developer has to actually make a balance between these two.
Yes.
Because they also cannot have a very wide price gap, right? Which means to say that they have very low indicative price, but because they still need to achieve the same average per square foot pricing, their high floors or their premium unit could end up no takers because it's actually being priced too high. Yeah. So this is actually just to share. There could be some pros and cons, but end day, I feel that this strategy will still benefit the end consumers.
Correct.
Because like we mentioned so many times that because you're already prepared that what are the kind of percentage premium that you're going to pay for, especially if you're looking at something which is you want it for your own stay.
So which means to say actually on the day one itself, even if your queue number is not so good,
Yes.
By going for the premium facing, in the future when let's say for example if this development is not sold out, in the future the not so good facings, they might be, because developer will stage out the pricing and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So you might be able to
Closer the gap.
Yeah.
In terms of the price.
Correct.
So actually, just now you mentioned if your queue number is not so good, right? Actually, on the other hand, even if you are first in queue, you already know that this is workable for me. So you may even want to go in to get the premium unit, even if you are first in queue. Yeah. Okay. So this is why we need to understand what is the lowest, average, and highest pricing for this development.
Easier to ascertain which units types
So
to
you
go
don't buy
for.
based on emotions.
Correct.
You buy because you are very clear of all the numbers already. Okay?
Because it's math, ma.
Correct.
In a way, it's
yes,
math.
correct.
Yeah.
And you do your sums before that.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay, so the last part of the analysis, of course, we come to our layout analysis. Okay, we start with the one bedroom analysis.
Yep. So basically, one bedroom, we will have a 452 square feet unit, A1, only 10 units basically for this
So
layout.
it's actually one step over here.
Yep, correct. And then, I mean, the good thing I think is that the bathroom comes with window. Master bath.
Okay, one thing I must say that the developer actually did it very nicely because if you look at the site plan again, a bit blur, but if I can zoom in, right, even though there is actually about that 6 to 8 units, right, but they actually have got gaps in between.
That equals to like most of the units have window, is it?
It will actually make more units having
windows.
natural ventilated,
Which is very
windows.
essential actually.
Correct. So later you see, even for the 2-bedroom, you have got windows in a lot of places as well.
And then I just realized that even the kitchen comes with window.
Yeah, correct. Over
which
here.
is very rare for 1-bedroom. Because
Super rare.
if you come
You
in,
hardly
right?
see that.
Yeah, if you come in and then normally just one long kitchen,
Yes.
you know, and then when you cook, it's all over the
So
place.
this one you can really enclose it, leh. Yeah, I can really enclose it, and then when you cook, right, and then at least you know that there's a vent to air out your
correct.
doing your cooking.
Okay, so like we have described here, corner unit. Okay, that equals to window in the kitchen, window in the bathroom, and then 2.8 living room width,
Over here.
which is very decent. Okay, dual entrance bathroom.
Over
that means a
here.
Jack and Jill kind of concept, and then aircon latch not outside the bedroom.
1-bedroom, usually most of the time you see the aircon latch here, and then
Correct.
it compromise on your views because your window will not be full height.
Yep.
Or even if it's full height, it will be tinted because you don't want to see the not so nice,
Aircon
looking
vents,
aircon.
yeah.
So in this layout, right, you can see that the aircon latch is actually at the back of your unit, which is actually your
bathroom and also
your
the kitchen.
Yeah. So that means to say, even though if it's just a 1-bedroom, you still be able to enjoy your full height glass windows and nice views.
Yep.
Okay, so that's for 1-bedroom.
1-bedroom.
Okay, so for 1-bedroom wise, I think there is no recommended unit because there's only one unit type and there's only 10 units. So in terms of this area over here, we would feel that definitely in terms of own stayers, we want more of the profile looking at own stay.
Yep.
Yeah. But if you are someone who actually like this place for own stay, but maybe with a little bit of the tightened budget, then maybe 1-bedroom, we can see that the layout is actually very decent. So this actually maybe something you can consider lah. Yeah. Okay. So for 2-bedroom, next we have 2-bedroom. There's various sizes. We have 6, 7, 8, which is the smaller size.
Okay, 6, 7, 8. There is 2 types of layout.
Okay.
Yeah. So we start with the first one, B1 type. In terms of layout wise, I think it's very ideal, to be honest, because it's a tuck kitchen with window.
And this is only 6, 7, 8 square feet.
Exactly. And then bathrooms all with window. It's a corner unit, enclosed, like here we said, enclosed kitchen, windows in bathroom and kitchen, and then additional side windows in master bedroom.
Here.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of ventilation. Don't know how they managed to do it, but oh yeah, because right, sustained land builds like coastline and developments like this. So in those districts itself, this is pretty much essential. Yeah. So I think maybe they are a bit more.
They understand.
Yes, the needs
what
of
is
what
required.
Yes, correct. Okay, and then of course, 3-meter living room width.
Actually, this is really impressive for 6, 7, 8 square feet.
Exactly,
2-bedroom.
exactly. And then aircon latch also again not outside the.
It's actually at the back of your unit again.
Yeah,
lah.
so you don't have any rooms that are being compromised. Yeah. And then, of course, this one in terms of facing wise, there are also, this is what we want to mention, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So some of the units over here, they are facing the other plot.
Yeah.
And also, whereas for here, you'll be facing a bit more premium. So in terms of understanding the price gap, in terms of understanding, you will be able to make a more informed decision of which facing to go for. Okay, then we will move on to the next one, which is B2, slightly different layout, whereby you have an L kitchen.
Okay.
Yep.
Over here, L kitchen. Over
Yes. Okay, then this one don't come with windows.
Here. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because of how it's oriented lah.
Yes, correct. So in terms of facing wise, again, like 26 and 27, which is the internal facing. So if let's say buyers who like pool view, will actually be able to, which is the second tier like we mentioned earlier in the video. Then after that, here will be Jurong Gerchu Road.
So sometimes I really feel developer, they're also very clever. So if you remember just now, right, the 6, 7, 8, everything enclosed, proper ventilation, right, is more of the exterior facing. So you probably get a bit compromised on the views, all right, but you get a very decent layout.
Yes.
Yeah, but for this one, the second layout that we are looking at is that maybe the layout as compared to the first one is probably not so ideal. Yeah, it's still okay. Actually, this is the normal kind of layout that we see in a lot of new homes for 2-bedroom.
Correct.
Yeah. So the one that we showed earlier on, right, is actually the more rare ones. So for that, right, you probably need to, for that, if you like the layout, you will be compromised of the views.
Yep.
Yeah. But for this one, if let's say you are okay with the layout, right, you actually get more nicer views because it's all the inwards facing.
Yes.
Which is all the pool view.
That's correct.
Yeah. So in life, you just have to make a decision. But of course, having said that, again, our expertise is to be able to help you to identify based on the launch day prices. Yeah. So that will be another part of it that we need to also look into. All right. So this is actually for the 6, 7, 8
Yes.
Type B2 2-bedroom.
Correct. Then we move on to
2 plus study analysis.
Okay, so actually this is a 2 premium.
Okay.
It's a very decent layout where you have windows
It's an
or
enclosed kitchen as well.
correct.
Yeah, so you also have this living dining, and this is more the conventional layout that we always talk about. Yeah, the rooms are actually all tucked to one side.
Actually, if you compare it to 6, 7, 8, it's about the same. The first B1 one is also tucked. There's no dumbbell layout for this. Yeah. I think the main difference is that for 732, they have this slightly longer walkway, which so later in the recommendation we will then talk about it again lah.
Okay. Next we have the 2 plus study. So this
Yep.
is really the 2 plus
Yes.
study. Yeah, it's dumbbell layout. You come in. Okay, so this one is actually at 764 square feet. You come in, you have your open concept kitchen, and then you have your proper study. This study looks very decent, right?
6 is actually very decent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
6
this
square
one You can
meters.
probably even fit in a single bed as well.
Correct.
So you have 1 room at one side and then 2 bed, 2 bath, living and dining. Okay, so this is actually for 764, 2 plus study. In terms of the facing, we are getting the internal facing.
Yep.
Which is actually all the pool facing, internal facing. Okay. Next, last layout for 2 plus study is actually 775 square feet. Very similar to 764. And then you have like 2 rooms, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom.
I think maybe slight difference will be actually be in the living room. Living room whereby you have 22 square meters for 775,
yeah.
and then you have 20 square meters for 764. So slight difference. And then of course you compromise a little bit on the kitchen because this is slightly wider and shorter. Whereas for
this
7...
one has got 2 sides.
Correct.
2 sides
Yeah.
of the kitchen.
Then whereas for 764, it's just one side and it's long.
In terms of the facing, it's actually all similar as well.
Yes,
All the internal
correct.
pool facing.
Correct. Like you say, developer very smart.
You need to decide on one.
Yeah.
Okay, so our recommendation is that looking at 6, 7, 8, just now as you also mentioned, is also the traditional kind of layout, right? So 6, 7, 8 and 7, 3, 2, the layout is actually similar. Actually same, just that a little bit bigger on some of the areas.
Yes.
So we would recommend that for that, right, if you're looking at a 2-bedroom, we feel that it is actually good enough to go for a 6, 7, 8 square feet because of the definitely lower quantum and with a very ideal layout.
Yes.
So that's for 6, 7, 8.
Because you
That's
still
for
have a
2-bedroom.
proper dining.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
correct.
Yeah.
And then, with glass and everything here. So it's, I think
Super
it's very-
decent layout.
Yes,
lah.
correct.
Yeah, for 6, 7, 8. Okay. So then after that, the next one will be 3-bedroom. But coming back to the 2 plus study, 2 plus study and 3-bedroom. So the 3-bedroom first unit, right, is actually starting from 872 square feet. So if you remember the 2 plus study, the biggest unit is actually 775.
Yep.
So if let's say you do have, if you are able to stretch a little bit more, if you're looking at 2 plus study, you probably can try to see whether we can actually stretch a little bit more to a 3-bedroom compact, because in terms of the layout, it's also very decent. Yeah. But unless you are saying that I like the place for own stay, I want to have a slightly bigger place, but then a little bit on the tighter budget, then you go for the 2 plus study. If not, then we actually recommend you to take either the 6, 7, 8 square feet 2-bedroom, or if not, to see whether we can actually upgrade a little bit, upsize a little bit to our 3-bedroom 872 square feet.
Yep.
Okay.
Because if you look at the 872, right, all the bedrooms are, other than master bedroom, all the bedrooms are 9 square meters, which is very, very decent. 9 square meters, that equals to putting a queen size bed is no issue at all.
this 872 comes with a proper utility.
Yes, which is
Yeah.
also very rare.
Yes,
so the
which is
main
also
space-
important because we
yeah.
always say that we don't have space to store, store stuff. Ma.
Yeah, I think the only downside will actually be just the kitchen part, which is still possible to enclose.
Yes.
You just have to glass up this part,
Over
this
here.
portion, yeah.
Yeah.
Or if not, you just glass up this part. Lor. Correct. But other than that, I think there's not much complaints or there's not much that we can say about this layout. For 3 bedrooms, it's really very, very decent already. Common bath has a window.
Yeah. Over
Yeah,
here.
common bath has a window. Of course, master you don't have, but at least the common bath has a window. And in terms of facing wise, there are also premium facing units, which
Yep,
is
over
facing
here.
the Bukit Batok Nature Reserve. Then the rest are all exterior
Ours
facing.
Okay. So again, we want to re-emphasize from here because you see that if you have seen from just now what we have shared from 1 to all the way to the 3 bedroom right now, right? A lot of the layouts has got both different facing.
Yes.
Yeah, that is again coming to the importance of understanding the price gap in this development, the potential price gap. Not saying that it's going to be a accurate 16%, but it should not run away too far off.
Yes.
Yeah. So knowing that, right, you already will know that if today I'm looking at 3 bedroom, 872 square feet, and if you really want to have the more unblocked facing, which is actually over here, they go to calculate in advance and plan
Yes.
for it already.
Correct.
Okay. So that's actually for 872 square feet.
So just in case you guys are not so sure of how the calculations, how you guys want to calculate it or not so sure of how to do it, you can just contact any of us.
Or sometimes you thought that it's probably not enough, you're a little bit stretched already, but there may be certain things that you do not know or not too sure about
miss
the
out lah,
calculation.
might miss
Yes,
out.
correct. Okay, so feel free to please come to us for all these calculations, finances as well. Okay, so the next one, the same size is actually 3 bedroom, 936 square feet. This one is actually
Also
traditional.
very decent.
Yeah, so just now was the dumbbell.
Yes,
Because of 872,
correct.
you need to have certain space efficiency.
Yeah, because
lah.
they want to put in the home shelter.
Yes,
They want to
correct.
put in all 3 bedrooms and 9
Squeeze
square
everything
meters.
in 872.
Yes, correct.
So this is actually 3 bedroom 936. That's why you can have a more traditional layout. All rooms tucked to one side. Enclosed kitchen with windows over here. So proper living and dining. They also squeeze in a utility for you. Can be for helpers, can be for study, storage.
Yep.
Yeah. And then 3 proper rooms.
Yep.
So in terms of the facing, so again, if you can see from here again, it's actually like different facing. Yeah. Either you get the more premium ones or the opposite.
Yes.
Alright, so that's 1936. Okay, then one of the bigger, this is actually the show unit, one of the biggest size of the 3 bedroom is actually 1109. So for this one, I think it's very well thought of because we actually comes with a wide living frontage for a 3 bedroom.
Yep.
And we know that this is not often we can see
Exactly.
for a 3 bedroom. Yeah.
And it comes with dry kitchen as well.
So you come in over here, you have a dry kitchen over here at your dining space, and then you have a wet kitchen. You also have a
Wash closet.
utility,
Yeah,
wash
so
closet,
that means the helper has had their own space as well.
proper space, very well planned and thought out. So this is your living and dining. All right, then your 3 rooms. Okay, so this is for 1109.
So and all the bathrooms has window as well. Yeah, which is very essential for 3 bedrooms.
The last one for 3 bedroom, this is actually a 3 bedroom premium plus study, but I put it together because it's only that one layout for a 3 premium plus
Yep.
study, and this is on the bigger size.
1259.
1259. Frankly speaking, I feel that this size could be a little bit too big for a 3 premium plus study because we sometimes will see a 4 bedroom at 1,002-ish square feet.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
So this one is a very luxurious living of a 3 bedroom premium plus study lah. So okay, so this is at 1259. It's very similar layout as to what we have seen in 1109, just that we have an additional study room over here, and what they have drawn out right is actually a very spacious study because you can probably also put a single size bed over here.
I think the main difference will be
The kitchen
1259.
area.
Yeah, the 1259 in terms of luxurious, and if you don't have any budget constraint, 1259 is something you really can consider. Why? Because if you talk about wide frontage, right, this is 4.6 versus
Definitely wider.
yeah, that's versus the other one that is 4.1. Then of course we have here as well, which is something that buyers might look at.
The walk-in wardrobe
yes, you have a
area
walk-in
space.
wardrobe space. Your walk-in wardrobe bathroom and everything is away from your bedroom, which is also very rare to come by. And then we have 2 and 3 bedrooms sharing a Jack and Jill toilet. And then we have powder room as well. Yes.
So actually this layout, right, we often see is really in a 4-bedroom layout.
Correct.
Just
Correct.
that this
Correct.
one is actually
3+
termed as a
studies.
3+ study. But then again, like you mentioned, study also quite, I think this one looks like a slightly bigger than usual study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this
a
one
very
they put
spacious
like that
kitchen.
is like a bed, is it?
I think so lah. That's why yes. That's why
is
I
it
say
like a
that
bed?
likely
Yeah.
it's gonna be able to fit in a bed also.
Yeah, so because actually from here we should be able to, I think it should be 1.9.
Yeah, because 1.9.
Yeah,
can.
1.9 can
Yeah.
fit in a bed. So if let's say, because the next jump for the 4-bedroom is even
1,400
bigger.
already.
Yes. So if let's say if your family is just big enough for this size, actually still is something they can consider. If not, then the next jump will be 1,453. Right?
Correct,
Yeah,
yes.
the fish is the 4-bedroom.
Yeah. Okay, so our recommendation for a 3-bedroom, 1109 is a very comfortable size and quantum for us to enjoy the wide frontage living 3-bedroom unit.
Yeah.
All right. So, but if not, then of course, if let's say we have a little bit of tighter budget, we'll be recommending 936 square feet, because if I were to use the average per square foot, an estimation of the
2350.
average per square foot, 2350 per square foot, this is the quantum that I'm going to derive for both 872 and 936. The top up is actually just a little bit of 7%. That means to say about 100-ish thousand, 100 over 1,000, you'll be able to top up to the 936 square feet.
Yes.
Which comes with the proper enclosed kitchen. Yeah, the traditional.
Actually, to be honest, 936 will appeal to more buyers in the resale market. So if it's just 150,000, if you can, try to go for the 936 instead of the 872. I'm not saying 872 is no good, but in terms of, let's say I don't have a budget constraint, I will go for 936.
Agree.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the
Because
one.
the jump is not too big.
Correct.
And it's 150,000. So 150,000, 30%, that's about 50K. Let's say in terms of down payment
payment
wise,
lah. Yes.
down payment wise, loan, if let's say no issue,
Yes.
it's another 50K lah, in a
Okay,
way.
4-bedroom rise, there's only one layout, which is 1453 square feet. Okay, this one is again very similar to what we saw just now for the earlier ones of the wide living frontage. We have got even wider. This one is actually at 5.5. Yeah, because it's a 4-bedroom.
Yep.
So even wider frontage over here. And then we come in over here, we have a dry kitchen, we have a white kitchen, utility. So we have everything you need. So even your master bedroom over here is actually a walk-in area as well. The closet over here, and you still have some space over here. So you have ample space in your master bedroom. Then you have a junior master with your own attached bathroom. You have got 2 bedrooms sharing the Jack and Jill toilet, and then you also have a study. So it's actually a 4-bedroom premium plus study. Yeah, and also a powder room for your guests over here. So it's a very decent, super decent 4-bedroom layout at 1453
It's
square feet.
1, 2, 3, 4,
A lot of
5
toilets to wash, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but because we also serve a lot of clients, sometimes for families who
It's
are
essential.
looking at 4-bedroom, yes, it's essential. Yeah, so that's why, that is the reason why they want to be looking at a 4-bedroom.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so actually that's for 4-bedroom. All right, so now we come to the end of our analysis for the Sen. It's going to be likely the last launch of the year.
Yes.
Yeah, so but
When is the launch day?
the preview is actually tomorrow.
Oh.
So the preview is going to start tomorrow for
Okay.
2 weekends. Yeah, and then the launch, and then after that, the third Saturday will be actually the launch itself.
Okay.
Yeah,
If you're
before
keen to have a look at the Sen, don't hesitate to call us.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be happy to share.
Okay, so that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. And please remember to like and subscribe. Yes, because that really motivates us to continue sharing more content and do more analysis for all of you, so that you'll be able to be in a position to understand better before you commit to any property purchase.
Yes.
Okay?
Alright.
So that's all. We'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye.